What's up, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Goes catching up with Aljamain Sterling, former bantamweight champion in the UFC, now competing at the featherweight division. Also getting back to his roots, doing some wrestling. Congrats, Aljo, on this past weekend. Late notice, no problem, huh?
Late notice, no problem. Yeah, it was a fun match. Got to take on a former champion, Benson Henderson, and settle which division was better. Jokingly, because I wrestled D3, he wrestled NAIA, so it was a fun competitive match. Well, I mean, it was fun. I'll say that.
What do
But
you
yeah, it was
think
good to be
of
back on the mat, dust off the shoes, man. I haven't done that in a while since my match with RBY, who was actually in my corner for that match too.
what do you think of RAF and what they're doing?
I love it, man. It's such a great opportunity and platform for the sport of wrestling. So many little kids coming out, older kids, parents, and it's just the entertainment value that they bring in comparison to a traditional wrestling setting where it's an all day tournament. You're just there for hours and hours. This, you get the fun matches. You know who's who already. You get to see all your favorite wrestlers compete against each other. And the matchups that you might have missed in college because someone maybe have gotten upset during a tournament and you never got to see that style versus this style. So I think it's a great platform. They're doing a great job, and I hope it stays around. I think they're doing the right things, and it should. I would like to compete a couple more times for those guys and see all the newer, younger generation of wrestlers coming up, and of course the opportunity for a young wrestler to have a choice of if they want to pursue MMA, they want to get a regular job, or they want to continue to wrestle and have some sort of professional platform where they could actually compete. So, um, congrats RAF, and I hope you guys continue to do big things and put on more events like that.
Is it an option in terms of financially, are they competitive? I'm not asking you to reveal numbers unless you want to, but is it competitive enough that someone that is coming out of college can say, you know what, I can make a living off that? How does it measure up to MMA, I guess?
I really don't know what the younger wrestlers are getting paid, so it's hard for me to say.
Mhm.
But for me, if this was all I was doing and I was getting paid what I'm getting, I mean, I could have one or two matches and it'll be great. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so it's nothing like fight money, right? But especially where I'm getting paid now as a fighter, um, still a little could that fighter pay could still be a little bit better, but that's another conversation. But I will say, in terms of what I'm making for fighting, this is still a good avenue, especially if I'm not gonna have a fight and I can compete in this a couple of times. Um, I would be more than happy, and I'm making good money, staying active, keeping the competitive nerves satisfied, and feeding that desire to compete. And I think it's just overall good. So I think base if these guys are getting anywhere near this for a wrestler coming out of college, it's pretty damn good, especially if you have another side job or full time job. I think it's more than enough.
Were you nervous competing in wrestling?
Oh yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
got nervous. I wasn't nervous till the day of, and more so when I got to the back room. I was like, oh shit, I gotta actually go out there and make the walk, and I gotta actually back up my words a little bit here. So I think just competition in general, when you got the bright lights and you can feel those nerves, that's always a good thing to just get comfortable being uncomfortable. And it was fun. I was able to shake it. Once my song comes out, I don't even know who picked that song. They did like this kid bop version of Peppa's, which was fine, but it was kind of funny. But once that song hit and I got out there and started, jiving, having a little fun, and it just goes away. Then it's just time to compete.
What was the most nerve-wracking part of it? Is it just losing in front of a lot of wrestlers or the words that you didn't back up? What would you say is the worst part, I guess, about or is it even social media awaits you, you didn't win, whatever.
Possibly a little bit of everything, but if I'm being honest, it was more so not knowing what type of opponent I actually had in Benson Henderson. Like I'm trying to find stuff on him, like how good of a wrestler was he actually? How strong is he actually gonna be? And what to expect? Like, what is his style, his approach? It was more nerves about that. Like, I don't know. Like, I gotta. Like, what if he's really strong and he got that dad old man strength and he grabs me and it's like, damn, you don't got kids yet, so you're not strong enough yet, there, buddy. So, these are all the thoughts going through my head, and I was talking to Billy and RBY, and they were like, "Bro, you're good. Trust me, you'll be fine." I was like, "You sure?" Like, what if he just comes out there, he just underhooks me? Like, I don't know. But then once I got my hands on him a little bit, I kind of felt out the first few seconds, and then he took that quick shot, and I felt his strength, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, they were right. I got this." My wrestling skills are more than good enough to compete with some of the best guys. So, that was really it. That's the nervous factor part. But like I said, once the music dropped and I made that walk and just started having fun, dancing with the crowd a little bit, did my little Triple H. It was the nerves just go away.
Hey, Aljamain, so as a competitor, do you feel like some of the momentum and the fire that you can take from an event like this, can it transfer over back to MMA, like just kind of carry over like a flow state for you?
Yeah, 100%. Same thing I was saying before, just the nerves and just getting the body prepped for that, remembering and reminding yourself what that feels like. And it's not the same intensity as fighting, but having the jitters or the nerves a little bit is always going to be good. Like, I haven't fought since the end of August last year, and I've been just waiting. The same thing happened to me last year where I fought Mosar, and then I had to wait till August to get another fight. I'm trying to stay active because I know the more you compete, the better you compete. At least for me, that's how it's always been. Even with wrestling, we compete week after week, which then allows you to make those adjustments and come back. Now, obviously, we're cutting a lot more weight than we did in high school and college, so that part sucks. You can't compete as often, but competing more frequently definitely helps. So, um, having this, if I could get another match before I get an actual fight, because I don't know when I'm going to actually fight. I'm still waiting for them to let me know. So whenever I do get that call, uh, I'll be ready.
I want to make a little bit of a pitch for you because when you said something about fighter pay, it kind of made me think a little bit. You, of almost anybody that we know here in Vegas, you do a really good job of maximizing your time and your money. You're an entrepreneur, but you're also a fighter. And then outside of fighting, you do a lot of these grappling events and stuff like that. So it's made me think a little bit like when you lump all that together throughout a career, it's probably the difference of investing in maybe getting another house, right? Things like that. Um, would you ever consider being when the UFC talks about these ambassadors, right, and the effects that they have on the younger generation of fighters? It seems like you cross a lot of those T's, dot those I's when it comes to that conversation. Do you have those with your peers? And would you ever, when you do hang it up, be that want to be that guy that does that for the UFC?
When you say does that for the UFC, what exactly am I doing for them? Ambassador, I guess.
So kind of just taking fighters and kind of like what Forrest Griffin does a little bit and just taking fighters under their wings and kind of pointing them in the right direction. Remember when you guys used to have the summit and people would come in and have conversations?
Yeah.
That, but more on a one-on-one basis.
Um, if it makes sense, I could see myself doing it. I don't really like. I offer a lot of advice to the fighters whenever they ask. I don't like to offer free advice that's unwanted. You know what I mean? Like, when someone's ready for the information, they're gonna go and seek it. So when you're trying to just preach to people, I tend to find out and tend to notice that people don't want the information. They're not ready to receive the information, and you're just talking for no reason. Um, so I try to help whenever I can. With that being said, I've always find myself in these conversations with these younger guys, and we start talking about income and investing and what they're going to do with the money. And I always try to tell them the steps that I took, what I did that was wrong. And it seems like that has gone a lot further than before, when I would just try to like have those conversations with people. Again, when people are ready to have those conversations, they will seek it. So when they're seeking it and we're having these conversations, then they're like, "Oh, wow, really?" And then that's interesting. Can you tell me more? And then I think the conversation is more helpful that way versus if you're not ready to to want to take in that information. So I don't know. It would be cool to do something like that. I've always thought about posting something on social media and making like my own thing with my financial advisor. And
Mhm.
like if he's willing to do it free of charge, and if they want to use his services, then they have an opportunity to talk to him if they're financially in a position to do that. Where I post, hey guys, we're gonna do this MMA course where we're gonna explain financial literacy and help you guys um, understand what you should be doing with your money. And if you want to pursue working with this guy, or if you want to find your own guy, great, that's cool. But we have this opportunity, and I can speak on that behalf. So I've always thought about doing that. I just don't know if there's a legal um issue if I were to do that. And then also I'm
Mhm.
also on the side of, do I do that? And then again, it's unsolicited, it's unwanted, right? It's not asked for. So but I do think that some guys would actually enjoy hearing from my experiences, the mistakes that I made and what I did right to correct it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I do want to ask you a little bit about the culture and the chemistry at RAF in the back when you're with all these athletes. What's it like? Like, do the pure wrestlers hang out with the pure wrestlers and the MMA guys with the MMA guys? Does everybody kind of intermingle? What was that experience like for you, and did you like it?
My experience, everyone on the blue side was actually, I think, intermingling with each other. I think everybody was, for the most part, there was a lot of crossover. Um, David Carr was actually really good with that because he just was like one of the friendliest dudes. Just comes up to everyone, and just starts chatting, and he'll just start talking away. And really, really nice dude, and very easy to talk to. Bryce Meredith, also a fighter, but also a former D1 national champ. And then you have, of course, Henry, you have Faber. So most of us actually wrestled, so I think there was a good camaraderie between everybody. Nothing felt like it was forced or anything like that. The only time there was really tension was really between Armand and Georgie that I saw. Everything else was great.
Um, who do you want to wrestle next? Because you said you want to do 2 or 3 more. So is there
Yeah.
already a name that you have in mind?
Yeah, because of the Oliver situation, I guess they ran behind on time, so I didn't get an interview. But with that said, I had a hit list. My hit list was right here. I know this guy will never do it. Mozart Evloev, I would love that because I won that fight, and I know I'll beat him in a wrestling match. Then, of course, you got Sean O'Malley. I don't think he will take it either. You got Dean the Dweeb. I would love to have that match if he would like to do it. And then one of the OGs, take his ass out of retirement, Brett Metcalf. So if any one of these guys on my list want to get it, we could get it.
Can you open up
Like
that
that
hand
one?
again? How come you didn't read the bottom line? It says who to avoid, Gorgeous George and Chess.
Yeah.
You didn't read that one.
Hey, 5-minute games. We're ready.
Okay, that's a good list. All right, so let's finish out with back to MMA. You've been very vocal. I want my shot. Okay, you said something about unsolicited advice. Allow me to give you some, if that's cool. Okay, or is that cool or no?
Sure.
Okay. Roku, you were on that show. You were featured on that show. They needed you, Aljo. Remember when they brought you in with Tiki? They had the camera there. They put you on the spot. Remember when they needed you? Why can't you and Tiki, or just you or whoever, roll in there and go, hey, remember that? I need a fight. Like, fucking scratch my back. I scratched your guys'. It was for everyone out there to see. And now I want to fight. I want to compete. You got Mozart and Lerone fighting. We don't know who's going to come out of that and if they're going to be ready to go. And Alex seems to want to fight frequently, right?
Yeah.
Arnold Allen's out of the way. Yair's licking his chops. John Silva, he's in the same boat as you. He's got some wins. He took a loss. Same thing as you. So, like, I don't understand maybe why not just hustle down there and, like, don't leave until they see you and get some answers.
So
Throw that shit back in their face.
I don't think it works like that.
No?
No, I'm gonna say it doesn't really work like that. But I mean,
Well, I mean, I'm not telling you to
I
throw
would
people
love
into a
to.
locker room and into their lockers or nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, say, hey, look, there was a time when you needed me, but I just really want to fight. Because it sounds to me like you just really want to fight, whether it's Volk or just a fight, correct? Or are you so focused on Volk?
I mean, at this point, I'll fight anybody. I've been waiting
Right.
for so long. Volk would be ideal, right? But it seems like they don't really want to give me that opportunity. I wonder why they don't though. Like I beat the guy that lost to Diego Lopez, which granted Diego Lopez's title shot opportunity based on where he was ranked. He beat Yair Rodriguez before that. And then somehow Diego gets a title shot. I don't. But my fight is 5 rounds instead of 3. I hurt my elbow in the end of the 3rd round. If that fight was a 3-round fight, it would have been a lot more entertaining than me having to fight 2 rounds with one arm. And it was kind of held against me. They're like the fight wasn't what we thought it was going to be, but the fans were great. Like they raved about it. They thought it was a good stand-up fight, a good display of my striking, and a smart game plan. Like I said in this recent interview, I outsmart these guys. I'm not going in there to fight. Yeah, what's your strongest attribute? I'm gonna go fight you in that department because I'm just egotistical and I want to prove a point. That's never been my thing. You know, my thing has always been smarts, outwit them, and use what God's given me and try to win the fight and make it look as easy as possible. Um, that's why I just think me and Volk we're two technicians. Like we would put on like the master class of MMA. I really do believe that. So that's why that fight really intrigues me. And if they want to give me somebody else, I'm gonna figure out and strategize a way on how to beat a guy like that, whoever it is that they put in front of me. Like I said, I've never told anybody no. Um, I know Volk likes to stay active. Shit, I could be ready for March at this point because I'm in good shape. So run it, man, run it. Like I can't go to the office and say, "Hey, it just wouldn't be a good look." And I think that would actually piss them off more. But
Yeah, I probably meant
I've done
something
everything
more.
these guys wanted, so I don't know what else they want from me. Just, I'll just please give me a shot, give me a fight to earn my shot again, and we go from there.
Yeah, no, I didn't want you to storm it with like a balaclava and dudes behind you or nothing like that. But again, they brought you into the office to discuss how they needed you for that event in Boston. I don't want to throw the history back at you because that was a
Yeah,
good time. But I'm
yeah,
saying same thing, man. I don't know. I always cheer for you guys and root for you guys to make more money, to be treated the way you deserve to be treated. I thought it was unfair for Lopez to get his second crack, honestly. Um, because especially because yeah, he beat Silva, but Volk hadn't had another fight in between then. So now they're gonna do
yeah.
Mozart and Lerone, and okay, but I just see the winner of that not fighting no sooner than July or August. And so the winner of that now is, I'm thinking, November, December. So for someone that wants to fight like you did, because again, I saw you very vocal on social media, I'm thinking it's either got to be attack and get, maybe if the champ is ready, get him to fill that schedule, because that's what the UFC likes to do, fill that schedule, or get another fight, and just do your thing, shine bright, get a finish, grab the mic, and then take on the winner of Volk, whoever wins between Volk and the winner of Murphy and Evloev.
Yeah, that would be perfect scenario. So we'll see how everything unfolds. The rematch kind of slowed everything up. Not kind of, it did slow everything up for everybody. I really think that they thought that he was going to be able to get it done the second time around. The champ proved them wrong and stopped him again, and even worse that time. Diego's not a bad dude. He's a nice guy, but merit is merit. And when people are getting like this, I don't want to say undeserved access, but when they're getting overly propped up and then all these extra opportunities that not everyone is getting, you can see why people get a little salty about it. Like I'm not salty about it, but I am just confused as why tie up the whole division and waste everybody else's time. That's more so what it is. Like I'm here to fight and make money, and if I don't win, great. At least I can say I tried. But give someone else an opportunity. Give Mozart or Lerone Murphy, the winner of this, an opportunity. And hopefully we can just keep this division moving and I can try to fight as much as I can, make as much money as I can on my way out of this thing. I'm 36. I look at everything from a rational standpoint. And the more active I could be and use the advantages of my youth, the more money I can make. And if I'm going to keep getting iced, it makes it really, really difficult. And I know the fans have been asking me, like, when do you compete? I'm like, dude, I want to compete. It's just I'm not being told anything. So it is what it is.
All right. Can you just tell us, common folk, who was more at fault, Polis or Sarukian, for what unraveled at the end? I mean, Pulis was doing kind of like some, we'll call it not slaps, but like swatting, right? Armin really gave him a slap, but I think it was because Pulis was very aggressive. So I don't know who to blame in that regard. And then at the end, Armin got the win, and why he wasn't given a takedown, I guess that has to do with the rules because he was out of bounds or something like that. So can you unpack that for us, common folk?
Yeah, he didn't actually officially get the takedown, but anyone who's watching is gonna be like, yeah, he took it ass down. But officially on the scorecards, no, he didn't get it. But with
If you
that
were
said,
Giorgio Poulos, bring us back, us. If you were Giorgio Poulos and you walked around with that sign, would you acknowledge that he took you down? It doesn't mean you have to give him the ground, but would you go, yeah, he took me down regardless of the rules? If you were Giorgio?
nah.
Oh, so then it's not a takedown.
Nah, I mean, like he got taken down, but it was out of bounds, so it doesn't count.
Okay.
But us who watched it in real time, we're gonna say, "Oh, he took you down," but in reality, it didn't score for a takedown. So there's that. But with that said, man, I really enjoy Armin and everything he's doing, but I, that was part of the reason. Like I look at everything, like I said, from a rational standpoint. The whole thing with him and Dana, and then him kind of getting snubbed and passed over, and then him adding to that by, the pullout, and then headbutting Dan Hooker. I've heard he broke his busted his nose before the fight with that headbutt, and then Dana White openly saying that was part of the reason, and adds to the reason why they're making him fight again to earn his spot. And then he goes and he does this against a guy who's not even a fighter. Like, I understand clubbing. Wrestling gets chippy. I don't know if
Right.
Armin's actually wrestled at the amateur level before, in high school, middle school, college, university, for those guys over there overseas. But that's part of the game. Guys try to get in your head. They start clubbing, and you know what we do? We club them right back. We give them a harder one right back. We push them and jam their forehead right back. That actually hurt. But that's the sport. So I can understand that he was getting pissed off, but to win like that and then push him down, cool. But then to frame him up and then punch him and then knee him in the face, I felt like it was just a little too much, man. Like, he could have pushed him down 2 or 3 times and mushed his face, and that would have been okay. And I don't think we would have had this melee that we had. And I just don't think that helps Armin's case.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a great talent, but he should have been fought for the title, but he's not helping himself by doing stuff like that. And of course, when you're doing that in front of the kids, like, respect, I understand. I've been there before. I've been in a point where I want to punch the kid in the face, but you know what I do? Wrestling gets chippy, I do it right back to their ass. That's all I do. And then if I win, it's even more suck it, So I just feel, as a guy who's up here in the MMA world and then punching a guy like that, who's honestly more so a bodybuilder, like he said, than a high level wrestler, even though he understands that too. I just think it just not a cool move to do at all. It almost comes off as like, it looks a little cheap, because you could beat this guy up, and then you just kind of like, it's almost bullyish, So I didn't like that at all. I thought he could have handled that better. He could even, when he pushed him down, walked over and put his crotch in his face and disrespect him that way. Like, there's so many more things he could have did than punching a guy that can't really defend himself against a guy like that. That was my take. And again, that type of stuff happens on the mat all the time. Chad Mendes and Michael Chandler headbutting the crap out of each other, not intentionally, but clubbing each other, and they're busted up. It's part of the sport. It's gonna happen. And I just thought he could have handled a bit better than that.
I went to the 2015 World Wrestling Championships here in Las Vegas. Oh, they get down at the World Championships. Iran, Turkey, Russia, United States, Mongolia, like Azerbaijan. Those guys were not playing around when it came to the clubbing, for sure.
Yeah, it's a different level. So I get it. And he's probably like, this bodybuilder's trying to punch me. Yo, club his ass right back, bro. Let the ref get involved. Let the ref get involved.
All right. I hope you get what you deserve. You're a former champ. Going to be in the Hall of Fame one day, 3 title defenses. So let's get on it, UFC. Book this guy. Either give him someone or fill that schedule and let him fight Volk. Especially because you cast it aside. This is me talking, not Alja. Lerone and Mozart to the side. So I'm not even throwing shade at those guys. This is the UFC decision to cast them to the side. So if you're doing that, then at least give the next guy up a shot. I'm all in on that. All right, bro.
Thank you. Nice.
Sorry we went long, but we had to cover RAF, and you're obviously a star in our world too. But thanks for the time as always.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.